Other areas of concern on the outside of the car are going to be down at the rocker panel. The rocker panel underneath the door, before I bought the car, whoever had it high centered it right about there, maybe hit a curb or something, kind of bent it just a little there, you can see it. Looks pretty good otherwise, and you don't really notice it unless you get down on the ground. All the fenders look good at the bottom. Quarter panel looks good. No rust in there that I can see. If you open the door jambs look really good. This one is nice and solid. There's no rust down here. There's just a little bit of dirt and grime in the body seam. This door light switch right there operates the light. The driver's side, for whatever reason, the switch does not work. The doors are good shape. The bottom of the doors are rust-free all the way down. I've got pictures that show that. The power trunk is located in the glove box. Or, of course, you can operate it with a key behind the fuel door. The trunk floor is nice and solid, a little dirty, but nice and solid. The original T-top bags are there. No rust in the trunk. It does have a custom tire cover back there. Around the trunk lid, there's a body seam all the way around, and it's starting to bubble up a little bit. The trunk is in nice shape, but that would be an area of concern, I guess. If I was going to do body work, I'd probably want to have somebody really look at that. This driver's door jamb is probably the worst spot on the car, at least to me. The door's in good shape, just like the other one. It's rust-free on the bottom edge and all that. And the inside door jamb is nice. But here in the driver's quarter panel in the inside of the door jamb, although it's rust-free, that's just dirt. When I bought the car, it had this plate on it, on the striker, and I got curious and pulled the striker off just to see what the reason was, and evidently the quarter panel is cracked right about in here and here, so the striker would move around. So whoever had it before me decided to put this plate on it to hold the striker in place. It functions properly, but it's just an eyesore if you open the door. So anytime that somebody decides to do body work, you're going to want to focus on that also, have it welded up. The only other part of the body that really bugs me is right here in the fender. It's a little cloudy today. I don't know if you can see this. When I put these snowflakes on about 12 years ago, you have to re-torque the lug nuts for about a week every time you drive it, or these lug nuts tend to loosen up. I had aftermarket lug nuts on at the time. Now these are original reproduction lug nuts, so they fit and operate great. But when I put the snowflakes on, they had aftermarket lug nuts, and the wheel loosened up on me as I drove it to the next town. And even though I was only going 20 miles an hour, the wheel loosened up, actually bounced off, and the bottom of the car is fine. There's no damage. However, the tire bounced up and hit the fender. And right here in this area, don't know if you can see it, there it is, there's some cracks in the paint. And then down here where it hit the fender, it just bent it just enough to crack paint all the way over to the fender duct there also. And whoever buys the car, I do have a nice used fender to go with the car if you choose to take it. The body shop should be able to fix this fender. However, everybody says if I have access to a replacement, that would probably be easier and less time consuming as far as labor to fix the damage. The rest of the car looks really good. Again, although it looks really, pretty decent in the pictures and video, the paint just really bothers me. You can drive it anywhere you want to and be happy with it, but it does have some nice little imperfections under the paint. It's got some orange peel, the paint's not real smooth. Here's some of the imperfections in the paint. You can kind of see. But otherwise the body is nice and solid. The rear fender flares are probably going to be reusable. They have some rock chips in there, as do most, but you ought to be able to smooth those up when it's time for paint. The mud flaps were added when I bought the car just to help protect the quarter panels in the rear fender. And they've done a great job doing that. One area that people often ask about is right here. Don't know, let me go to the other side, we'll see if we can see it better. Both sides are this way. You can kind of see some imperfection here in the paint. That's not rust. Actually what they did when they built the cars were put a lead seam in between the quarter panel and the roof. And when the car was painted, originally the old paint that was on it was peeling off of that lead seam. There was no prep work done when this paint job was applied, and therefore you see those imperfections under the paint. So it's not rust, it's just poor prep work before the paint job. There's the outside of the car.